Welcome back to In the Big Inning, the YouTube channel dedicated entirely to Jewish baseball. And I hope everybody had a meaningful Yom Kippur, Shana Tova to all of my subscribers. And we are in the baseball playoffs. And we have one Jewish baseball player left, and that is Harrison Bader of the Mets. And as much as I would like to see his success, I am a longtime Dodgers fan, so I'll leave it at that. This episode is a big order that I got from Ship My Cards. You can see. Okay, Ship My Cards, if you're not aware, is basically a U.S. address for Canadians and other foreigners, because if I did every card one at a time, it would be prohibitively expensive to order cards. So you're going to see a lot of different cards because I haven't had a shipment from there in a long time. And they're kind of in a random order. So you'll see one player and then another player and then back to the first player, because I'm just basically taking them out of the box and showing them. You also might see a little messiness on my table and the reflection. I kind of noticed that, but that's okay. You're going to still see the cards. Also really interesting, I've got a lot of mainstream cards. I've got some cards from Cuba. I've got some cards from Venezuela. A very big mix of cards today. So first one I'm going to show you is the 1963 Topps. This is the Dodgers Big Three. That's a great card. I really held out for the right centering on this card. You can see Koufax and Johnny Padres and Don Drysdale. So this was obviously the height of the great pitching for the Dodgers. So that's a nice card. The centering on that white is really hard to find. So that's what I was going for on this. Next two cards are both BOWMANs. They're both 52 BOWMANs. Again, centering tough, but I like how the ROGOVIN turned out. And that's a PSA 6 and a raw Sid Gordon. Now this one is, as you can see, a little bit off center. I don't mind that. My main interest in this card was that this is now the last of the BOWMANs for Jewish players. So I have all of the BOWMAN players. That doesn't mean there aren't any more BOWMANs who are Jewish. This is just all the baseball ones. I'm going to talk about that at another time, because as soon as I got the Gordon, I realized there's a whole bunch more. Here we've got a Larry Sherry 1961 Post Serial. And that is a PSA 6. And those are tough to find in that nice condition. A lot of them, because they're perforated, come in a lower condition, but this is a beautiful card. Larry Sherry, very well-known player on the Dodgers. He was, and we'll do an episode on him and his brother Norm later, but Larry Sherry was the MVP of the '59 World Series, where he had a decision, part of the decision in every game. He had 2 wins and he had 2 saves. Now let's go on to a couple of the Bell brands. I like the Bell brand cards. Okay, and again, another Larry Sherry. This one. Now this is a CGC rated card. CGC, not as well known, but they were the only ones at the National who were doing on-site grading. And I actually like their holders. I was quite happy with them. I had a few cards graded with them that were for resale. And the other 60, this is another 62 Bell brand, and that's Norm Sherry, his brother. So 2 great cards, the 2 Sherry brothers. And Bell brands can be difficult to find, and difficult to find in good shape. So getting a PSA 6 for Norm and getting a CGC 7 for Larry, that's good as far as I see it. So now we'll look at a Mike Epstein. So this is the reunion of the Washington Senators 1969 season. It was a 1999, so the 30th year anniversary. That's just a cute little novelty card. Like that one. I like the back of this card. Just a fun little card. Not a very expensive card. A few bucks, I think, for this one. But definitely a nice little add to my collection. This one is, I guess you'd say this is a Hank Greenberg card. It is a Fleer, and it is a 68 Fleer World Series card. That's a nice card. I like that one. Okay, again, like you can find fun little cards of star players, okay, for not a lot of money. So it's got a great back to it. It's got that tag on it still, but I'll get rid of that card. This is a Venezuelan card. It's a Sport Grafico OVENCA from 1970. Not in the greatest shape, but you know, these are thin cards. They're not always as nice. And you can see that that's a beauty. It's got Richie Scheinblum here. Okay, Richie Scheinblum played in a lot of different countries. His name is on the back. In the writing, it's kind of hard to see that, but beautiful little card. So glad to have that one. Okay, going into my next card. This is a nice one. It's a 9. It's a Steve Stone 73 card. So that is SCG 9. Tough card, that good a condition. Easy card to find in lower grades, but that's a beautiful card. Really like that one. Very sharp all around. As with a lot of 9s, I don't know what keeps it from being a 10. Somebody saw something, but I can't find it. It's a fantastic card. Okay, the next one's great. The next one, there's a story behind this one. So this is a 56-57 CHICLE Peloteros EDWIN Mayor. Okay, so this card, there's very few of them graded anywhere. And the CHICLE Peloteros, so this is a Cuban card. Okay, now the little story behind this card is I actually had a much nicer one that was raw that I bought probably about 3-4 years ago. And it was the only card that ever got lost in the mail. And the dealer actually never found it again. I kept checking to see if he would relist it or if I could find it somewhere else. It did legitimately seem to disappear, and it's too bad because it was a really strong one. I mean, this one is actually not bad for an SGC1. It's got decent centering on it. I think that there's a little bit of, you see a little paper loss here, and that might be what hurts the value. And as I said on my channel before, if what hurts the value is a problem on the back of the card and it's a nicer front, I'll take that every time. So another beautiful card. Again, very few of them out there, and I love finding rare cards. Here is another Steve Stone. This one is a 1974 Topps PSA 8. Great centering, great eye appeal on that. A little bit high on the center, but not much. Not that I find it detracts from the card. So that's another beautiful card. Love Steve Stone cards. I've gotten into them recently, as you can tell. I have more of them coming up, either now or in the future. Okay, another card that I'm excited to add to my collection. The 1960 Larry Sherry MORRELL meets. As you can see, these ones, because of the black border around it, they're tough to find in a high grade. There's lots of chipping on the 1960 MORRELL meets. I showed in an earlier video my 59 Koufax MORRELL meets. These are really nice cards that were issued soon after the Dodgers moved from Brooklyn to LA. So that, and the Bell brands I showed before, those are also issued showing at the time of the move to Los Angeles. That's why there's a lot of extra sets about the Dodgers in the late 50s. 1964, another nice Larry Sherry card. This one is a PSA 8. So that's a beautiful card. It's a little high up, but it's really nice shape. And that top bottom is pretty common on 64 Topps cards. Really like having that card. That's a nice one there. And also from the same deal, one that I'm happy to be adding in good shape, which is the 56 Topps Al Rosen. Rosen, if you follow Jewish baseball, definitely worth some episodes on him. Probably the best Jewish baseball player ever after Koufax and Greenberg. So that's another, that's a great card. And to be getting it in a PSA 7 is really nice. So I'm happy to be adding this one to my collection as well. Okay, another not expensive, but just fun card. 1976 Playboy Press Hank Greenberg. Look at that one. Again, not expensive at all. A few bucks, maybe $20, $30. I can't even remember, to be honest with you. But to be getting it in this shape and a nice back on that too, with the, looks like advertising. So the Greenberg, yeah, PSA 8, that's a nice looking card. And it was from 1976. So for those who don't collect a lot of cards, usually the most expensive ones are the ones made during their playing days. The ones after their playing days don't get as much, hold as much value, which seems obvious. They're more just commemorative pieces. But as it works out, that's a really nice card. So you can get some good cards of players in their post-playing days. All right, now this one is spectacular here. The 1951 BERK Ross doubles, the Al Rosen and the Phil Rizzuto. Love this card. I was so happy to get this one in an auction. And it's a PSA 6. That's got a lot of beautiful corners, centering. They're all, I've seen a little bit off that way, but I mean, that's just such a spectacular card. The BERK Rosses are doing very well on the market now. They are tough to find and getting tougher. There's a perforation in the middle, so some kids might have separated them. So to find the doubles that are still together, because they were sold in packs of 2, like this. And so they're very hard to find now. And I did not expect to find this one in this good shape. So I'm happy with that card too. Okay, the next is the 64 Topps Rookie All-Star Banquet. It's not really a rookie. You can see it's a card, looks like it was, it's the election committee for a banquet, and you can see the Hank Greenberg on there in a PSA 6. The dealer also had a PSA 5, but I like this one. So that's another really nice card. Just another interesting piece, you know. Some things top out your collection better when you add something that's fascinating. And the last one for now, the most expensive of the ones I purchased, which I'll have to open because, oh, no, it isn't. Here we go. Okay, so this is one of the toughest ones to find. And this one is a 52 tip-top bred SAUL ROGOVIN. Very few of these out. I don't like the way it slipped in the holder down here. Okay, so I have some concerns about that. I'm not sure what to do about that yet. But I don't think that should be happening on a PSA holder. So these were just labels on the bread. So they're finding them in 1s and 2s is the most common. Okay, because that's basically what you got. All right, so really nice one. This one was, I think it was $300. So this one was an expensive one compared to the others. But the pop of them is just so low that it's hard to find them. So this is it from this pickup from Ship My Cards. I'm very happy to be adding all of these to my collection. I do have more cards that came in this order, but I'm saving them because I want to put them on a different episode. Only a couple more. And this to me is just a fantastic, fantastic addition to my collection. So many great pieces in here. I'm really happy with the pickup. So thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you next time on In the Big Inning.